Alright, sound effects remake project. Take one, here we go. Right here, this is where you find the projects or the clips you can use. ALC, movie clips for sound project. Any one of these. I'm going to demonstrate with Bride of Frankenstein. So I'm going to copy this onto my computer. There it goes. You don't want to import it directly from here. Otherwise, then you always have to be connected and it'll mess things up. Okay, then we go to Final Cut. You can see I've done this before for the other class, but I'll start new. So I'm going to go new. Well, I've already made an event. Let's just... For you, you would go new event and do that first, but I've already done it. So I'm going to do new project inside my sound design event. Frankenstein version 2, all this is fine, hit OK. And here I go, Frankenstein part 2, it's empty. So first thing is I would go File, Import, Media, and find that Bride of Frankenstein movie. Import that. Okay, there it is. And I have already done the same thing with all these audio clips that I want to use. I will show you how to get some more audio clips later, but first of all, I'm going to drag this down, and it will automatically set it to the size that this video clip is. So I'm just going to hit OK. And then let's play this just to see what the original is like. Okay. Yes, you got to do something for the voices. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is hover over the volume bar here and just turn it all the way down. So now I play it, you can't hear anything. So now it's my job to recreate all that stuff. So first I'm going to play through it and look and see what does he do that should make a sound. What do you guys think? Yeah, we got to have some footsteps in there. So here's some that I've imported. Or we've got this. They sound about the same. So I'm going to drag this down and let's try that. Okay. Doesn't quite work, does it? So we need to work on the timing. So first thing I'm going to do is, let's zoom in here on the timeline. I want to find every point where he makes a footstep. So I'm going to select the video clip, and I'm going to use my right arrow and left arrow and go back and forth until I see him take a step. So right there, and then I hit M as in marker. And see how I put that little thing right there? So I'm just going to leave that there for now. And then find the next, where is it? Right there. Hit M again. And there's one. M. Now I'm hitting the L key to play forward, or I can hit J to play backward. There's one. Hit M. And I can't see the feet anymore, so I'm just going to guess. Right there. Right there. Right there. And I think that's the last step for this shot. Okay, so I've got all these markers here. Now what I'm going to do is go here, choose the razor blade, and I can cut up these footsteps here because I want to separate them so that each one matches this marker. I'll just delete those for now. Okay, so let's work our way from the back and see how it's kind of magnetized to it, because I have this thing turned on. If you don't, you probably want to have it snapping. And that means this will kind of magnetize to the markers that we put in. So I'm matching the front of this to the marker, And let's do the same here, and there, and I can delete that one. Alright, let's try this. Hey, timing's pretty good, but it doesn't sound quite right. First of all, it needs to start out quieter, like he's farther away. And we probably, in a room like this, it would have a lot of echo, right? So I could go through each of these and add an effect to every one of them. And I can adjust the volume individually. But instead of that, since they're all kind of a similar sound, I'm just going to select all of these and right-click and choose New Compound Clip. So it'll combine all of these into one clip. So let's call this Footsteps. And see how you can still see all the waveforms, but now it's just one clip. So I can go over here to my effects, and let's go to Audio, Spaces. Let's try Cathedral. Okay, and then I think these ones sound good volume-wise. These ones I'm going to bring down a little bit. So let's, if I drag this down, it brings everything down. But I want to put in some keyframes. So I'm going to hold Option on my mouse. And see how now I click and it adds a keyframe, this little diamond. So now I can drag the diamond down, and just these early ones will be quieter. And another reason I made them all into one clip is because that way this cathedral sound will continue throughout the whole thing instead of stopping at every short clip. Okay, now it needs some kind of a science lab kind of ambient sound, right? So I've got this thing. That could work. I've got liquid drips. I've got sci-fi horror. I've got crickets. That doesn't sound like crickets. Huh. Let's try this one. And notice how there's like a second of silence at the beginning of this. So that's not going to sound right. So I'm going to just drag this to cut that off and then slide it over so we have that the whole way. And then I don't want this so loud. So I'm going to drag this down. Usually ambience you want at around the -20. Yeah, something like that. And let's add the cathedral sound to that too. Alright, so now I need to add some voices. So what I've got here, we have a bunch of these little red boxes called Focusrite, Scarlet something. And you can plug a microphone into it and then get a lot better quality than you would with your built-in microphone. If you use your built-in laptop mic, it's going to sound really far away, and it's also going to pick up everybody else in the room. So I recommend you take your laptop into one of the sound booths in there. Each one of them should have one of these little red boxes. So I'm going to grab a microphone like this and an XLR cable, and I'm going to plug it into, in this case, input 1. And then let's go here to Window, Record Voiceover. And by default it's on, it looks like this, but if I drop down Advanced, I can choose my input. So we do not want built-in microphone, although you can tell it's working. I'm going to switch this to Scarlet, and I'm going to choose channel 1 because that's where the microphone's plugged in at. Now you can tell it's a lot quieter, so I'm going to bring up the input. Yeah, there we go. Okay. If you want to turn on monitoring so you can hear what you're doing while you say it, then you can do that. Or you can have that turned off. Then we've got countdown to record, mute project while recording. All these are good. So let's hit record. Hey, you, hey, what up? Hey, what up? What do you want from me? I'm not going to be. Yes, don't love it. This is just my first time, so I don't know what he's actually saying. I could plan this out better, but just to show you how it's done.
That happened.
Hey, what up? Hey, what up? What do you want from me? I'm not going to be. Yes, don't love it. All right, whatever. Okay, so I need to do the same thing with the effects on this, you know, add some kind of a reverb and maybe another effect on his voice. So let's cut this up so we have Frankenstein's voice separate from the doctor's. Right there. I'm using keyboard shortcuts, by the way. If you hover over that, it tells you what the shortcut is. So A goes back to arrow, B is razor blade. So if I hit B on the keyboard, boom, there I am, razor blade. A goes back to arrow. So let's go to my voice effects. Let's try monster on this one. And cartoon animal on this guy. And let's see how that sounds. Hey, that's pretty good. And let's go back to spaces. And what about a modest cathedral? So in this case, I think the cathedral is a little too much on the voice. So over here in my settings, here's the button to turn the settings on and off. See how you can turn the effects on and off too? And I can control the amount of it. Or if I just don't like that effect, I can click on the name of it, hit delete, and that effect's gone. So maybe we want a large room instead of cathedral. And if that's too much echo, I can bring the amount down here. Yeah, that's good. Maybe on this shot I would bring the volume. Well, I don't want to cut it like that. Command Z, undo. Let's go to our arrow and put in some more keyframes here. He's farther away in this shot, so I'm going to bring the volume down a little bit. And I would also add some footsteps in there. But you guys get the idea, right? So let's zoom out here. You just need to do a minute long of it. So in my case, I started at the beginning, so I can go here to a minute, get my razor blade, delete all that, shorten this. Okay, and then once I'm done, I'm going to click the share button. For me, it's over here. For you guys, it's up here in this corner. But these things will be the same. Go to master file. And settings. Format. Web hosting is a good one for this. And then hit next. And make sure to put your name on it. So in my case, Frankenstein. And then hit save. All right, and then copy those back onto the CT drive, and you're done. So let's stop this.